It's been a minute, hasn't it? Hey, and I guess it's good afternoon, everybody. It's been a while. I guess this is the first video we have posted in over 2 years. Just I hadn't been able to devote the time I needed to the channel to be able to put out more content, more frequently than 2 years. So a lot of life things going on, changing jobs, kids growing up, playing sports, so there's just hadn't had a lot going on. The last video was the start of 2024, and had a good year in 2024. I believe I didn't race as much as I wanted to. I don't think. I can't remember, honestly. I know I got some videos from the last SFG race at Rockingham that I ran. I may have a few videos from WFC that year. But just hadn't had time. And I know when I was recording, I have a remote to turn both my 360 camera on and the stationary camera on at the same time. And sometimes they wouldn't turn on at the same time. And so it took away from my racing. I noticed that I was more worried about the cameras than I was about the run. And I'm there to race. So I quit filming. I didn't film at all last year in 2025. I think I'm gonna do some here in 26, but I'm just gonna do just one camera. That way I can just turn it on and just not worry about it, versus both of them turning on to get two different views and this, that, and the other. So whichever ones you guys would like to see, I will put in the car, whether it be the 360 camera or the stationary camera. Doesn't matter to me. And I can even do a mixture of both, or one race I do the stationary, one I do the 360. So it's, I would like to give y'all some stuff, and even me some stuff, because I go back and watch and see what I did right, see what I did wrong too, just like a lot of people who watch this channel do. So, but 2025, we didn't race a whole lot. Had a lot at the end of 24. I knew that I needed to refresh the motor and all. So when I went to do that, I dropped it off Christmas Eve or day before Christmas Eve, and I didn't get it back until March or April. Just ran into a lot of problems between, had to get another block because a main had cracked and busted in half. And to try and fit the timeline of making the first race in May, it wouldn't, the machine shop was just too backed up to be able to do that. So got another block, and then got the crank to grind, couldn't find bearings. So I'd find another crank. And then when I went to put it together, just one thing right after the other, putting the motor together. Finally got it together. Week before Memorial Day weekend at Rockingham in 25, went to go change the transmission fluid like I do every year. I will be doing it on this car back here again. I do it every winter. Pulled the pan off, and had quite a bit of aluminum in it. So talked to Paul Mosley at Paul's Transmission. He said it looked like possibly a stator in the converter had broke. So I had to pull the transmission out week before we were going to go racing, go get the transmission rebuilt and cleaned. Then I had to find another converter, and so found a converter locally and stuck in the car to get through that weekend. Did okay. I think I got to 11 cars on Sunday. Saturday I didn't win around, which heck, I was still putting the car together at the racetrack. I did the alignment in the pit area. So I mean, I was still trying to get the car together, ready to go when I got to the racetrack. So it just 25 was just, everything was a struggle. Car ran good, and then I went to Orangeburg, and car was slowed down every time I went down the racetrack. Couldn't figure out something. And so so then I went and was going to go to Bristol Labor Day weekend because I'd started football there during the summer, and so I didn't have a lot of time to go racing. So I was head coaching my middle kids football team. So I decided to go to Bristol for their Labor Day race. So I went to Piedmont before and made a run, car breaking up going down the racetrack. And the car has never spit and sputtered or anything like that at all. Brand new motor, so it's like, what's going on? And so I thought maybe it was a crank trigger or something like that. So I went to Pageland the next week to test. Thought I had it figured out because I made a run or two that didn't spit and sputter. And then, but I had jacked so much timing because I took and disconnected the crank trigger. We plugged up just to pick up the distributor, and it seemed to fix it. And so, but when I set the timing, I had the distributor rotated way out. So when I got the Bristol, that morning, Friday morning, I'm like, I'm just going to take and move the distributor where it needs to go. Well, when I did that, roll pin was broke in the gear. So that was the whole issue with the car slowing down from Martinsburg, which was in June, all the way to September at Bristol. So found a roll pin, changed it, and car was good the rest of the weekend. And I mean, that was the first real weekend because I went and fixed my converter, put a diode in it. So it fixed that, so I don't have to worry about that converter anymore as far as anything breaking, and put it in before I went to Piedmont. And so that was the first weekend I had everything together in the car. And I was still kind of trying to figure out because the car is about a tenth and a half slower than what it was previously. And so I was chasing to see if I could figure out why that was. And I couldn't come up with anything, but was just trying to find out what it liked. And so every time I was going, I was changing stuff and, just constantly problem solving things. And maybe there wasn't necessarily a problem, just find out what the car wanted or needed. And so we went to Super Chevy, lost at 7 cars. I can't remember any other races. At Bristol, I got to the 5th round on Saturday, 5th or 6th round. So I had a good showing there. Can't think of where I went anywhere else. I didn't really go much anywhere else. So we went through football season, and then in November, I took the car to Shadyside to test it because I was wanting to go Thanksgiving racing. I hadn't been in the car in a couple of months. And so I went to test the car. They had a gambler's race. And if you followed any of my social stuff on Facebook, I ended up picking up the win there at Shadyside in the gambler's race. Probably one of the best races I've had in a while. Learned some things about the car at that race. And so tried some different things for Thanksgiving, and all that got rained out and colded out. And so decided to go to Mississippi to Gulfport for their New Year's race. And I did some jet changes, and it didn't like that. And so I tried some other carburetor adjustments. And by Sunday, I felt like I found something that the car liked. And so went to 710 a couple of weeks later because I was going to go to Coastal, and they got rained out as I was going. So made a U-turn at the coast and come back to 710 and top bulb there. Lost at 6 cars, top bulbing for the first time, and gosh, 8 or 9 months. And I only top bulbed one other time last year in my buddy Tyler's car, and I'll get to that later. But lost at 6 cars with it, and the car with a 15-mile-an-hour headwind ran the same thing 4 times in a row. So think I figured some things out. Want to do one more test and tune because I got one more theory I'd like to try on the car before I probably put my seal of approval on it. But the car's been really good here lately, which last year before Gulfport, I only made 55 runs on the car the whole year. And that includes the Shadyside race. So before Gulfport, I'd only made 55 runs on a car. So it doesn't have a lot of runs on it. And it's different than what it was, but I think it's more like it was the first version of this motor I built in 2013. Um, so I'm just trying to adjust to that. I was so happy to run as fast as I was going previously, but that don't look like it's going to be the case, which is fine. As long as it runs the number, I could care less. So there is that. Um, so that brings you up to date. We went to Gulfport, lost, I think, fourth or fifth round, both races, because they combined 3 races into 2 because of the rain and all that we had going on down there. So that was a real good trip. I think I'm gonna go back again this year because I enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, going somewhere new, and just really, really enjoyed that trip. So I think I'm gonna make that trip again. So 2026, this year we're gonna try and hit it hard because, like I said, we sat a lot last year due to being broke, and just not having things together, in a timely manner. And that's just how life goes at times. So 2026 going to hit it a little harder. It's looking like Shadyside for points races. At least the first 3 weekends. Rockingham, their first 2 weekends. I'm going to throw in probably some Mooresville before they close to do some renovations there. And then I'll just hit races wherever I can. But I think I'm gonna run for points at Shadyside and Rockingham. And granted, that runs into a head Labor Day weekend because they both run the same weekend, their last points race. So depending where I'm at in points will depend on where I go that weekend. And I'm going to WFC in July for their 5-day 20th anniversary race. Looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to race 5 days. It might be long and grueling, but it'll be a lot of fun, definitely. But just going to try and race as much as I can this year. We're building a new motor. Slowly getting parts for it right now. Just got the carburetor in this week. That was a total blessing. Ordered camshaft. So and the block and the short blocks that have been in the machine shop since last year. And so I know he's diligently, trying to get it worked in addition to a backup motor that we're going to be putting together for the car. So just a lot of new things going on there in the engine side of things, and hopefully we'll get it put together this year and maybe put it in by the end of the year. So I hope to try and vlog all that. Also, this car right here that you see, I don't know if you've seen any of the previous videos or not. This is a 1973 Nova. This is my very first car that I got when I was 15 years old. My wife said that I would sell her before I'd sell this car. So she's the one that said that, not me. But we're going to be doing some stuff with it. That's going to be the next build project. I've been slowly accumulating parts the last couple of years for this car. The short block that is currently in the race car will go in that car with another top end that I used to race years and years ago. That's really mild stuff. Should put it somewhere in the 7-second range, which would make it like a good foot brake sportsman car. We put the new motor in this car. It's going to be top bulb and foot brake stuff. So eventually I'll have both these cars running at the same time to where we'll be able to take 2 cars to the racetrack. Been kind of a goal of mine to do that, and I've got kids growing up. My daughter's just going to graduate high school next year, and I got my boys growing up, and I know all 3 of them have been wanting to go racing. So I'm trying to get this car together to where they can go learn and have some fun, and try and get their feet wet to see if this is something they want to continue before we maybe look at another car for them. So we'll see. But I'm sorry it's been so long since we've done anything. Like I said, I got videos, but I couldn't even tell you what any of it meant. I could probably post it in a video stating from a race, and I can give you what I got, or we can start fresh here and in a few weeks when we hopefully hit a testing to March 7th is my goal right now, um, to get ready for this season. So like do some video in there, and then at the first races do some videoing and just start trying to post stuff, um, and get some content out to where I can get this channel, kind of rolling again, and we'll have some in-shop stuff. I can, kind of go over what I'm doing here. I'm actually today started doing some off-season maintenance, got all the antifreeze drained out of the motor. I think we're over our cold snap for the time being. It got to 6 degrees a week ago with 14 inches of snow, and then we had 2 inches of ice before that. And so it's been too cold to even get into the garage because my garage is not heated or well insulated. So no matter what kind of heater I put in here, it won't keep it warm enough to where you'd want to work on anything, especially if you had to get on the ground because concrete floor is really cold. But we can do some, I can probably do some in video on what I'm fixing to do, because car's got an oil leak. It's had an oil leak toward the latter part of the year, and I seen it, but never really got to the racetrack. I got dripped on there until I got to Gulfport, and they said Mississippi it was dripping on the racetrack. So then I made me a diaper to go underneath it to keep it off the racetrack, and it pretty well filled that diaper up. It's laying over there on the ground where I cut it up or got it off the car. But yeah, we're still plugging along. The racing hadn't stopped just because the video stopped. Just hadn't been as much as normal, or as I'm used to having, which is fine. I'm enjoying watching my kids play sports and do things that they can only do while they're little. And so that's why I haven't really, because it takes a lot of time to do these videos and edit and make it to where it looks presentable in a timely fashion. And so it just takes time to do it. And so I just hadn't had the time to do it. So I'm going to try and at least piecemeal some stuff together and be able to post it to make the channel active. So it may not be long stuff, it may not be in-depth stuff, but it will be at least some stuff to where you kind of know what's going on here and all. And so, like I said, we got the project with a Nova back here, and then, building a new motor for this car. I've got a buddy of mine's S10 truck that we're kind of tweaking with, so his son can run some Sportsman. And I'm probably gonna end up going and getting a buddy's Mustang and bringing it here. We might do some video on it to help get his car back going, because he's going through a rough time right now. So I'm gonna try and give him a helping hand where he can get his car going back and get to where he can, have a get away and relax for a little bit. Before I go, I want to shout out to my buddy Tyler Bell last year, loaning me his car, and being able to try and at least chase the points at Rockingham. I was in a decent position to finish in the top 10 before Labor Day. I just chose not to go there. I just chose to go to Bristol because I felt like it was probably going to be about my last race, and it almost was for the year. And so I can't thank him enough for allowing me to be able to. I threw my alcohol carburetor on it, and car was really, 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 really good. He top bulbed it at Rockingham and made it to the 6th round, down to, I don't know, less than 16 cars. And I mean, I did well with it. And then I went to Kinston in May, for their points race, and came a couple of win lights away from doubling up in top and foot brake. I run it up in foot brake and lost it 3 in top. And that was probably the highlight of my whole year, was that day. My daughter was with me. That was a lot of good memories we made there. But yeah, was almost able to pull a double up, which is on my bucket list to try and do before I'm done racing, is win top and foot brake in the same day. I know that's really, really hard to do because there's a lot of good racers out there now. People have learned how to race and learned what to do and what not to do, and it makes it really tough to be successful in this now. It's very hard to do. You just, right place, right time is all that it comes down to. You can make really good runs and get beat, and the bear behind you, it could be, an even worse run and gets on a win light. So that's how the cookie crumbles with this stuff. So, but I want to thank everybody for watching this and listening to me to gas bag for almost 20 minutes. To be able to kind of catch you up on some things. Like I said, it's been 2 years, and I don't make excuses. It just facts of the matter. Life's been in the way to where we haven't been able to post a lot or even race a lot. So I'm hoping to this year to kind of post some more stuff to where just kind of keep the channel active. Hopefully we can grow from I think there's 31 subscribers right now. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like this video, share it, and tell your buddies, hey, we've got another local racer that's still trying to do YouTube. And, because we all need to support each other to help build each other up, build our stuff out, or build our stuff up to where, we can get our stuff out there and get more eyes on this sport that we all enjoy doing. So once again, I want to thank everybody. Y'all have a good day and look forward to seeing you soon.